Respect. It is something that everyone craves, but only a few truly command. We've all heard the phrase, respect is earned, not given. But what does that really mean? Why do some people walk into a room and instantly capture the respect of everyone around them? And why do others, despite their best efforts, struggle to gain the same recognition? The truth is, respect is not about being liked or popular. Respect is about value. The more value you bring to a situation, the more you force others to respect you. But here's the catch. Value is not something that's just handed to you. It is something you create, something you cultivate, and most importantly, something you demand through your actions and your mindset. Machiavelli, the master of political strategy and power dynamics, understood this well. He knew that true power does not come from being liked, but from being irreplaceable, from creating such a strong sense of value that people have no choice but to respect you. Respect is not a passive gift. It is a psychological transaction. People respect those who offer more than they take. They respect those who make themselves valuable in every interaction. In this video, we will explore the dark psychology behind value, how it is created, how it is perceived, and how you can force others to respect you by mastering the art of value. We will uncover the psychological strategies that allow you to position yourself as someone who is untouchable, someone whose presence commands respect without question. Are you ready to learn the Machiavellian principles of creating and demanding respect? Let's dive into the psychology of value and how you can use it to reshape the way others perceive you. To begin understanding how to force respect, you must first grasp the fundamental concept of value. Value is not something that can be assigned by others. It is something that you must create for yourself, and it begins from within. But here's where most people go wrong. They wait for others to recognize their value. They think that by doing good work or being competent, others will automatically see their worth and respect them, but this is a passive approach. Respect is never passive. It is demanded, and it begins when you set your own value. Machiavelli understood this deeply. In his political theories, he outlined how power comes not from expecting others to recognize your worth, but from asserting your own value. Those in power do not wait for validation. They create their own position and command respect through their actions, their presence, and their ability to leverage value to their advantage. Let me ask you this. How do you view your own worth? Do you see yourself as someone whose value is self-evident? Or do you constantly look for others to recognize your potential? If your answer is the latter, you are falling into a trap. Waiting for others to validate your worth only leaves you vulnerable. Instead, you need to take charge of your own value. The more you do this, the more others will respect you because they cannot deny yours. A powerful individual doesn't look for respect. They demand it by making themselves indispensable. When you bring true value to the table, whether it's your unique talents, your ability to solve problems, or your presence, people cannot help but respect you. The respect they give you is a result of the value you bring into the interaction. Here is where the psychology of value becomes clear. You are the one who decides how much value you have. The more you create this value through your actions, your expertise, and your confidence, the more respect you force from others. Now that we understand the importance of self-created value, let's dive into an equally important aspect. Perception. You see, it is not enough to simply have value. You need to ensure that others can recognize it. Your worth is only as valuable as others perceive it to be. In order to force others to respect you, you must master the art of perception and visibility. Machiavelli understood the power of image and how it shapes the way people treat you. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are if others can't see it or fail to recognize it. In his world, appearances mattered almost as much as substance. It wasn't just about what you could do, but how others saw you doing it. And this is where most people fail. They hide their value, they keep it hidden in the shadows, waiting for recognition, but never pushing themselves into the light. Visibility is the key. You must ensure that your value is seen, that your contributions are recognized, and that your presence commands attention. When people are aware of your worth, when they can't ignore your contributions or your skills, respect becomes inevitable. But the trick is this: visibility must be controlled. You do not need to be everywhere to be respected. What matters is that when you show up, you do so in a way that demands attention and makes others take notice of your value. Think about the most respected leaders and figures throughout history. They didn't just stay in the shadows, hoping for recognition. They knew how to present themselves, how to show their value without coming off as arrogant. They understood that perception is often more important than reality. You could have all the skills in the world, but if you do not make others aware of them, you will never force respect. Perception shapes how others view you, and how others view you shapes how they treat you. The more effectively you manage your perception and increase your visibility, the more you will naturally attract respect. Not because you seek it, but because your value has become undeniable. Now that we understand the importance of visibility and perception, let's move on to another crucial aspect of forcing respect: power dynamics. Respect is not just about your value. It's also about how you navigate the social hierarchies and relationships around you. To truly force others to respect you, you must learn how to use power dynamics to your advantage. Machiavelli was a master of understanding power and how it operates in social structures. He knew that power is not always about physical strength or even intelligence. True power is about manipulating and navigating the relationships and influences that exist in any environment. Power is a social game, and to win, you must play it with precision. The key to leveraging power dynamics is understanding the balance of influence in every relationship. You must recognize who holds power and how you can position yourself in relation to them. The more strategically you place yourself within these dynamics, the more respect you will earn, not because you demand it, but because your social influence will make it clear that you are someone worth respecting. Think about it. When you enter a room, do you feel like you are at the mercy of others, or do you control the energy of the room? A person who is aware of power dynamics understands how to subtly influence situations without appearing overbearing. They know how to speak, how to stand, and how to act in ways that make others recognize their authority without saying a word. Social influence is a tool you must wield with intelligence. This is where understanding human behavior becomes vital. When you know how to position yourself in relation to others, how to connect with people on the right level, and how to subtly shift the power in your direction, respect will naturally follow. And here's the important lesson: power is not taken, it is given. When you understand power dynamics, people begin to see your value. They respect you because they recognize the influence you have in their lives, in the room, or in the situation. You do not need to force respect. You create it by knowing how to use influence effectively. Confidence is one of the most powerful tools you can wield in the pursuit of respect, but not just any confidence. It must be the right kind of confidence, one that is rooted in your value and the respect you demand, not in arrogance or insecurity. Confidence is magnetic. When you carry yourself with self-assurance, others are naturally drawn to you and, more importantly, they are forced to respect you. Machiavelli understood this well. He knew that true leaders do not seek validation from others. They know their worth and project it through their actions and their presence. A confident individual does not need to explain themselves because their actions speak louder than any words. They do not need to defend their position because their confidence alone commands authority. Confidence is about owning the room, not by being the loudest or most assertive, but by being grounded in your own value. When you exude this type of confidence, people around you will begin to recognize that you are someone who cannot be ignored. Your presence becomes impactful, not because you seek attention, but because you demand it without saying a word. But here's the catch. True confidence is not something that can be faked. Arrogance and overconfidence come from a place of insecurity. If you feel the need to brag, to belittle others, or to prove your worth constantly, you undermine your own credibility. Confidence, when it is genuine, is quiet and understated. It is the inner knowing that you deserve respect without the need to prove it to anyone. So, how do you project this type of confidence? It starts with self-belief. You must know your value, and once you do, your presence will speak for itself. Stand tall, speak with clarity, and never shrink yourself to accommodate others. When you project this type of confidence, you'll find that others will naturally align with your energy, and respect will flow to you effortlessly. Now, let's talk about boundaries, perhaps one of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of forcing respect. Many intelligent and capable people make the mistake of thinking that respect is about being liked or being agreeable. But true respect comes from setting and maintaining strong boundaries. If you do not establish boundaries in your relationships, you are giving others permission to walk all over you. And that is the quickest way to lose respect. Machiavelli understood the power of boundaries when dealing with both allies and enemies. He knew that the key to gaining respect was never to compromise your values or let others dictate your terms. To demand respect, you must define your limits and make it clear to others that you will not tolerate being disrespected. Boundaries are not just about saying no when necessary. They are about showing others that your time, your energy, and your attention are valuable, and you will not allow anyone to take advantage of them. When you set boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you are someone who values themselves, and in doing so, you force others to respect your limits, whether it's in your professional life or your personal relationships. When you make it clear that you have standards, people will either rise to meet them or leave you alone. Those who respect you will understand your boundaries and will not push against them. But those who do not respect you will either comply or be forced out of your life. This is a powerful form of control. When you set boundaries and enforce them consistently, you become untouchable. People no longer see you as someone to manipulate or exploit, but as someone who is firm in their self. In this way, you begin to force respect from others without ever needing to argue, defend, or justify your position. And here's the important truth. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates. You can decide who gets access to your time, your energy, and your attention. This is the ultimate form of power, control over your own space and emotional energy. Integrity is the silent force that drives respect. Without it, all the confidence, power, and boundaries you've built will eventually crumble. People respect you not just for what you say, but for what you do and how you stay true to your values, no matter the situation. Integrity is non-negotiable. When you act with integrity, you build a reputation that commands respect without a word. Machiavelli, though a master of manipulation and power dynamics, understood that trust is the foundation of any successful relationship, whether personal, political, or professional. True respect comes from knowing that you can rely on someone to always act in alignment with their principles, even when it's difficult. When people know that you will never compromise your core values, they will treat you with the respect you deserve, because integrity is something people cannot fake. The real power of integrity lies in its ability to create trust. Trust is what keeps people loyal. It's what holds alliances together, and it's what makes others feel safe in your presence. It's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. People respect those who admit their mistakes, own their actions, and stay true to their word, regardless of the situation. Integrity allows you to lead not through force, but through admiration. People will follow you and give you respect, not because they have to, but because they trust you to always act in their best interest and in yours. To put it simply, when you live with integrity, you make respect inevitable. Your actions align with your words, and this creates a foundation of trust that others cannot easily undermine. Even when faced with challenges or temptations, people who have integrity do not waver, and because of this unwavering moral code, they command respect effortlessly. To truly force respect, you must learn the final and most powerful lesson: selectivity. The time and energy you give to others are your most precious resources. The people you choose to surround yourself with have a direct impact on your respect and influence. By being highly selective about who you allow into your life, you send a clear message that you are not available to everyone. You value your time and energy, and only those who add value to your life will have access to them. Machiavelli understood that power comes not only from what you give, but also from what you withhold. When you are selective with your time, when you choose to engage only with those who deserve your presence, you create an aura of scarcity and mystery. People start to recognize that access to you is a privilege, not a right, and they will respect you more because they know that you cannot be taken for granted. By being selective, you position yourself as someone who does not waste time on people who do not meet your standards. This sense of exclusive value forces others to raise their own standards if they wish to be in your presence. It is a strategy that puts you in control, allowing you to maintain your own emotional and mental energy without being drained by those who are not worthy of your time. Respect is a direct result of yourself. When you act like your time is valuable, when you treat yourself as irreplaceable, others will follow suit. You force them to recognize your value because you have already recognized it for yourself. This selectivity ensures that you are always in demand, that your presence is cherished, and that your respect is not earned through pleasing others, but through your unwavering value. Remember, the alpha mind is about being selective with your energy, controlling your presence, and maintaining the respect you deserve. When you choose who you engage with carefully, when you demand that your value is seen and respected, you will find that respect follows naturally. You will no longer have to fight for it. It will come to you. Thank you for watching The Alpha Mind. If you found these insights useful, drop a comment below and let us know how you plan to start forcing respect in your own life. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more content that will empower you to take control and become untouchable. Stay strategic. Stay powerful.